Alrighty, the moment you've all been waiting for. I am extremely excited for what's about to take place here. I have right here with me one of my closest friends, one of the best musicians I've ever worked with. This man has been a brother to me for a long time, and I'd like to introduce and welcome to the show my good friend, the lead singer of Into the Pacific, Esteban Warren. What's up, man?
What's up, man? Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here as well, and I would repeat everything back to you, man. That you just gave me this wonderful introduction. I would say the same things about you, man. So feeling is mutual.
Oh man, much love, bro.
Yeah.
Man, it's so good to have you here. I mean, we haven't been jamming. It's been a while, but we get together and we play worship from time to time and whatnot. But the bond is still there. We've done so many shows together, and we've done so many worship services and various other music projects together. I mean, I think it's safe to say that this bond is solidified.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think even deeper than our music is our drive to do music, which comes from deep-seated faith in both of us, right? And so we have that bond of belief and faith in God first, and then this is who we were made to be, right? This is who this is natural for me and for you to work in music. And I would say this too for those listening, that I don't know anyone like AJ. I don't know anyone who is as much of a musician as you, where you absolutely just devour music, and then your creative process as well is just mind blowing to me. So yeah,
man, bro, coming from you, that's a high compliment. I really appreciate that.
I mean every word. There's not pumping. This is not pumping your head up or anything, and it's just who you are, and that comes from a place of understanding. I believe like your connection to God, and then the music comes out of that. Like that's just the natural byproduct. So,
I love you too, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough about me, man. Let's talk about you. What's been going on in your life?
This has been a interesting year, to say the least.
Yeah.
I had plans of writing and recording more music, and then 2020 happened, and without sounding like I'm making an excuse, just many other things arose. Other things became more important quickly, whether that was family life, job, which is a worship pastor here at Cedars Church in Newark, and there was just so much transition and things changing week to week that I had to respond to, and the writing that I wanted to do, the recording I wanted to do, kind of got shelved. And I was excited coming off of last year, where I got a chance to start writing and recording.
Oh yeah.
Through technically about 4 songs, and only got to release one of those songs. So I've got these other 3 songs that are just kind of sitting there unfinished, that I really want to get back to. But that's it's going to happen.
Absolutely.
It's going to happen. It's just it's just playing a long game, if you will. And all that said too, there was so much that came up in this year that I count as positives, whether that be the family time, the connection with friends, on a much deeper level than maybe in years past, and then from a music standpoint, or maybe just even from a personal like passion standpoint, I got to work on music a ton this year. I got to record music for the church and mix music down like I had not done before. I got to dive into Logic a lot more than I had before, the recording program, if you don't know what that is. And then also some video editing software, which is, that's been fun as well. These are all things that I've loved to do since I can remember, since my parents let me play with the tape recorder, since my dad had this little tiny boom box back in 1983 and said, "This is the record button, son. You just push that and you can do whatever you want."
That's so rad.
Whoa. Yeah, this is a new world, the idea of recording. So anyhow, it's always been fascinating to me. And this year, I feel like that's where my effort and energy went into. So while I may not have released music like I would have liked to and like I had planned to, there was this deepening of skill set that I don't think I would have done unless I was put into this situation.
I couldn't agree with you more. And it's funny you mentioned that because I've actually taken that journey myself.
Right.
Been playing with FileMaker Pro just like you, and I've become quite the Logic man myself.
Yeah.
So I think it's safe to say that the pandemic has made those things possible in terms of learning new tricks, I guess you could say.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And another thing, you had said that you had a few songs that you'd been working on. You were only able to release one.
Right.
I've actually been playing on my own in regular rotation
Nice.
in the mornings, so
Nice.
people have been hearing us.
Nice. Thanks for the love, man. Yeah, that it was weird, just like putting out one song and not going the full process as in the past of promotion and then playing shows and all that. It was different to just release a single like that, but I was so happy with it. I still am happy with it.
Absolutely. I feel like it was quite the jump, in terms of from what was recorded on the first record
Right.
to what you had put out on that single. I mean, polar opposites in terms of the sound of the music, the style,
Right.
even the instrumentation is a little more beefed up than what first came out on that first record.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just, I think it was kind of what was available to me at the time,
Mm-hmm.
when recording the full length album, there was a wealth of time amongst me and the bandmates at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And those were the instruments that were inspiring us at that time. And then as we get, years down the road after touring on that music and playing shows on that music, it was kind of those songs kind of had their time, if you will. Mm-hmm. Not to say we won't play them again. They'll have their place in shows. But there's this feel of, like, if we're going to play shows again, it's going to be time to do it with some new music. And so the songs the songs that I started working on last year, those songs I had been working on for years, but last year was the time to actually start recording them. And so there's pieces of songs that are recorded on their way to being finished. It was only that one song on my own that got completely done. It just jumped ahead of the other ones in recording, and we're like, this is the one that you have to release as a single right away. So, and those instruments are what essentially is available to me, and lots of synth, and lots of fun stuff with MIDI.
Yeah.
That I had not, it's there a little bit on that first album, specifically in the song "One and the Same."
Uh-huh.
There's a lot, but that was kind of, I would say that's the song that's closely related to where "On My Own" is. Like that's always been in me. But when writing the first album, there was a lot more influences where I would say these songs that I'm writing now and that I'm going to release in the future, more probably my influence specifically, Yeah. It goes a little bit more back to what I grew up on.
And that actually leads to my next question about "On My Own." What were some of the inspirations that went into writing the song lyrically, musically, that helped you write the song?
Right. I would say that was the content of the song, the lyrical content of the song, probably stems from the time of touring between 2011 and 13, where that's when I probably started writing those lyrics, or at least conceptualizing the lyrics. And that sounds crazy that the song, I didn't even release it till 2019. That's playing the long game for sure. But the idea just being that the title of the song is kind of deceiving. On my own. It's the point of the song is that I can't do it on my own.
Right.
Right. One, there's multiple layers in that, and if you listen to the song, there are. I tend to write in dual meaning, meaning one person can listen to it and say, "Oh, he's definitely talking about a chick. Oh, he's definitely talking about his wife."
Yeah.
Another person may say he's definitely talking about God, and I would say yes. I'm talking about all. I'm talking about all. I write that way sometimes on purpose because I think that just like watching a movie that I watched when I was 8 years old versus watching it now as a 41-year-old, that I'm going to take different meaning from it. That's the beauty of art, is like the interpretation comes with your level of growth. And so when I write, I'm hoping that I'm not, I've written songs that are maybe a little more specific and direct, but that one is just like, I revisited stories of just driving out in the middle of nowhere through states I'd never been, in the middle of the night, half asleep. And when there's a spot in the song where I talk about seeing the sun come up, that I can reimagine that moment of like 5:30 in the morning, still driving and seeing the sun come up. And I'm literally talking about a real sunrise, and I'm dead tired, and I don't feel like I can keep going, and I don't feel like I know what to do next, but I've got someone next to me. And in that moment, it was actually a good friend who decided to play co-pilot and stay up with me all night and talk, right? Yeah. So it's this idea, the idea around the song is we're not meant to be lone rangers. Mm-hmm. One, God didn't build us that way.
Right.
He is never leaving me alone. He's never forsaken me, never gonna, he's always there. But beyond that, he put these amazing people in our lives that are going to be there as well, and we need each other. We're interdependent. Mm-hmm. We were made that way on purpose. So it's just a song about that of like I'm describing difficult times in life, but also coming to this recognition in every chorus. I can't do it by myself. I can't do it. Just like, stick with me. Look at me. Like, let me look you in the eye so I know we're on the same page. We're together in this, right? Yeah, we are. Yeah, that's the idea there. It's like you got to look somebody in the eye to know their intention and say, okay, you're not going anywhere. You're here with me. You're here with me through the end. So, that's kind of the gist of that song. But it comes from so many inspirational different moments. But I would say a lot was just the rough time of touring. Touring was not glamorous.
No.
Touring was not always this joyous thing.
No way, especially if your budget's tight and you have to do all your lugging, and it's obviously long hours. I mean, yes. Going from one city to another state. Yes. I mean, you've toured, relentlessly, and you've done some extensive ones too.
Right.
What were some of your, I guess you could say, fondest memories of touring, aside from all the struggle and whatnot?
Sure. I would say that the fond memories, oddly enough, I'm kind of a weird one. I enjoy teardown.
Really?
And I don't know. Tear down, for those of you who don't know,
No
is
way.
like that's when you're done with the show. Everybody is pretty much gone, or maybe there's a few people lingering around. But you're dog tired. You know, you've just driven hours, sometimes 8, 9, 10 hours to be in that place. You've set up everything. You've emotionally spent yourself in the show, and then now it's time to pack it all up and put it in a trailer, make sure it gets put away right, wrap everything up. It takes a while, and then go to where you're going to sleep that night. For us, it was usually a stranger. Like, we had not met them until we're showing up at their house at midnight, knocking on their door. Hey, we're the band. Do you have anywhere for us to sleep? These things were set up in advance, but, you know, you get the idea. And something about Teardown was so gratifying. I remember all these moments of like just smiling at my bandmates and smiling at the people that I was on tour with, because there's this feeling of like, we did it. We got through another day. We killed it. We did a great show. Even when we didn't have a good show, there was this processing that would happen in that time. So I think what was drawing me to those times was relationship. Is we're just like high-fiving it, you know, while rapping chords and lugging around drum sets and picking up bass cabs and picking up electric guitar amps and all this stuff and Tetrising it into a trailer. There's something that was so bonding to me about that. It sounds weird, but I enjoyed those times because it was like, we did it. Good job, everybody. Like, we made it through. And now we get to do it all again tomorrow. And the next day, and the next day for 2 to 3 more weeks. There was something so satisfying about it. So yeah, I know that sounds strange. I mean, I loved visiting cities, but it was so quick.
Yeah.
And I would say beyond that was also these like just random relationships that we came across along the way. That, like I said, strangers inviting us in. I was just talking to a guy this week, a guy named Devin and his wife. They let us stay with them in Canton, Ohio.
Wow.
I've never been back, and I want to. Like, I need to go back because I want my son to meet a family who took us in when we were, they were supporting our dream, essentially. Like, for no other reason other than that they were hospitable people who knew how to extend love, and they had a space and said, yeah, you can stay here. Like, those relationships, I remember sitting around the table with them before the show. They made us a home-cooked meal, and that makes the difference when you're out living on Starbucks twice a day. That somebody took the time to make you a meal and sit down and eat it and not have to rush, because everything is rush, go, 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 go on tour. But those moments when we got to sit down and eat with someone and talk and meet their family, like those were highlights for me. And that's why touring, I think in the end I decided I wasn't built for tour, because I'm just too interested in, like, who are all these people that I'm meeting? What's your story? How'd you end up here? I think the relational aspect of touring was always the highlight.
Yeah. Man, Ohio. I didn't even know you went to Ohio.
We did.
That is quite the journey, man.
It's way out there.
Good Lord. Man, but that's incredible. And as long as I've known you, you've always had such a big heart too. And even though, we as people who work and especially in ministry, we're very goal oriented. It's very easy to lose sight of the people that you're working with or that you're helping. And one thing I love about you is that's something that I've never seen you ever just not acknowledge the things that people have done for you. And whether it's something as a home cooked meal or staying at someone's house or just simply shooting you some gas money to get to the next city. You have always been someone very thankful and selfless and caring, and you'll forever. that threw me off. I'm sorry.
Sorry. If
Somebody-
you couldn't hear that in the recording, something just was a big boom.
Someone's banging around on the second floor.
Sorry about that, folks.
It's all good. Let's go. Whoop, shift back.
Yeah, bring it back.
The one line from On My Own that's popping up in my head right now is in the bridge. Without you by my side, I'll never make it on my own. I want to talk about that right now. One interpretation of it, and is someone that's been by your side for a long time now. Your wonderful wife,
Oh, yeah.
Chantal.
That's for sure. That line is for her.
Mm-hmm.
The line is for her.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, man. 14 years.
My gosh.
It goes quick. And Into the Pacific doesn't happen without her. Like, I can't state that enough. She got involved with me early on with, worship music before we were even dating. And I'll never forget the first time she tried to sing backup for me. And I thought it went well. And I was pretty excited because I was pretty interested in her, even though we were still in the friend stage. I was like, man, this girl's marriage material. And after we finish, we're talking, loading up, my favorite time. And she's like, hey, I don't want to be mean. I really appreciate that you invited me to come, sing backup for you, but I'm not a good fit for you. Like, I can't back you up. I can't match your vocal. I can't. All I heard was all these I can'ts, and I'm like, my heart is just being crushed.
Oh.
I'm just like, oh, okay. And obviously that wasn't the end. This speaks to Chantal's ability to work with any situation, including a weirdo like me. And so, like, eventually, like, I feel like both of our voices changed literally as we came to be one.
Yeah.
Our voices changed. And then now, like, I listened to us singing, we were actually just a minute ago listening to one of the songs we recorded this year for church, and I'm like, dude, she just sings so effortlessly with me. It's a beautiful picture of marriage, how, there's lots of hard times. But those hard times are like the minor chords in a song, if you will. And they still are part of the song, and they still make the major lift that much more special in a song, right? So she's singing with me through all the minors and majors of life, and does it really well. Where I feel like it's still a lot of people, when they sing with me, I sing with a lot of people at church, and they're like, oh man, you're kind of difficult to... I'm so thankful that people are honest with me. I know that my voice is, I guess, unique, and so it makes it a little hard to sing harmony with me. But people, if they know me long enough, they figure me out on many levels. They figure me out. So not just singing. So that's Chantal is such a big part of that, because she decided at some point that, like, this calling on my life from music was also hers. Mm-hmm. She's called to a lot of things. She has more passions than just music. I would say in particular right now, it's being a mom, and that is a massive calling, to be a mother, especially to a son like I have. He's a wild one. And
he's a smart one, too.
The smart one, in the best ways. But she knows that that's also a calling on her, just like for me to be a dad too. But when it was music, when it came to music, she decided that this was her calling too, and like, no one supported me more. No one got me through the times of like, I'm ready to quit this garbage. There was so many times in the middle of tour where I was like, listen, we've got our own vehicle. We can just pass them the trailer and just go home and call it. Like, she was the one that would say, no, we can't do that. Like, we this is what we signed up for, and we're going to see this through. And we did, and it was hard at times, but she was there by my side, just like I said in the song. She was there. She did not give up. She's no quitter.
No way.
So,
and you know, I can attest to that too. I've been playing with you guys for almost 8 years now. Wow. I can't believe I just said that. Just a shade under a decade, man. And just like you say every time, whenever you introduce us, she is the hardest working member of the band. And
absolutely.
She really is. And for those of you that are listening, folks, Chantal plays a lot of auxiliary percussion, anything from tambourines to wood blocks to a glockenspiel. Floor toms, cymbals, everything. I mean,
name it.
Yeah, a very indie setup, I guess you could say.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She's glue. She's glue
to hold
it together.
To say the least. And you know what? It seems like in the seasons that Into the Pacific weren't playing, it's like you put the hold on one band and then you went to another, and she's still the hardest working member. It's you, her, and Emrys. You know,
right? Yeah. Just I can't say enough about her, and she's gonna be embarrassed about all this talk about her.
Aww.
I'm sure a little bit, but
Chantal,
it's the truth. It is the honest to God truth, and she knows how important she is. She knows how much she's loved, and so a big chunk of that song. I mean, I could listen to that entire song and say that it's fully about her, and then there's other times where I hear that it's it's a friend, and other times where I'm like, no, that's God, that's 100% God. So that's the way that, oddly enough, like as I'm writing, I also feel like the song's being given to me.
Yeah,
it's like it's being handed to me on loan, and so I'm just kind of writing it as it comes, and switching things here and there.
Yeah,
but yeah, and musically that was just. There was inspirations of 90s hip-hop, lots of old funk, R&B.
For real.
Synthy stuff, new wave stuff. I mean, I am an 80s child. Technically born in the last year of the 70s, but I'm an 80s kid. Formative years, yeah, in the 90s. So I took some of that. Obviously, that influence is there. But man, I love some 80s music.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We play quite a bit of it when we play as well.
Yes. Yes, I do love the cover songs.
Yes.
That's good times.
Me too. I love those songs too. All right. So we got more coming with Esteban, and we'll be right back in a little bit. Okay, so we're going to do a few songs for you folks. So we're going to do a couple songs from the first record here. We got one song here. It's called Hold Fast. Hey, man, tell us a little about what went into writing this song.
Well, I think the first important note is that I did not write it. I mean, I helped shape some of the lyrics. I helped shape some of the music, but major portions of this song were written by Jonathan, who was our musician extraordinaire early on Into the Pacific, and another previous band. We grew up together, like a little brother to me, and so he had this. he had this idea of writing a song that felt very piratey. I know that sounds odd, but that was kind of the inspiration. Was this like, you know, a pirate finding the light, if you will.
Ah.
You know, like Johnny Depp turning the corner. You know, finding Jesus. That was kind of like this like imagination. We wanted to create a sound that had the feel of adventure and the feel of the ocean. And you know, oddly enough, I'm not a huge fan of the ocean, or the beach rather. I do like the ocean.
Yeah.
Not a huge fan of the beach, but this has this feel of adventure and wonder, and finding what's around the corner, and really a song of redemption was what was going for, of someone who had a past life, if you will, and you think about a pirate, and they're always ready to fight, and they're always ready to go to war, and this song speaks to that, but almost of like your fight's done. Like you've come around, you've seen the light. You're not going to be plundering villages anymore. You're not going to be, bombing other ships, and you've come all the way around, and you've seen the light, and you're on a new adventure. Mm. You're on a new adventure. So yeah.
Man, you know, I've been playing that song since 2013, and I never would have thought of it being a pirate jam. But you know what? The ending does bring some yo ho ho vibes to it. So
sure, yeah. I don't know if we got full on Pirates of the Caribbean with it, but if you listen to the recording, there's lots of stomps and claps and stuff like that. We wanted it to kind of have that feel. I don't know if we fully captured it, but in the content, if you will. yeah, that's a good one.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right. Well, with that in mind, let's do a little pirate shakedown right now.
Nice.
We're gonna do ourselves a little hold fast. You ready, my man?
Yeah. Let me make sure. Hey, that's the one, right?
That is the one.
That is the one, and I keep trying to. Check it out. Okay, yeah. Let's try this.
All right, you ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hold fast, keep your aim steady. Stand strong, every man ready. Hold fast, boys, stick to your gun. Stand strong, for the battle has come. Oh, set me free, sail away across the open. There's a land far away, and I know it's meant for me, yeah. It set me free to sail away across the open sea. set me free to sail away across the open sea. There's a land far away, and it always meant for me, yeah. And no longer sinners, and no longer thieves, no dirty scalawags. We're much better than these. Oh, and no longer sinners, no, and no longer thieves, no dirty scalawags. We're much better than these. Oh, 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 yeah,
Oh, man.
still got it.
Awesome. Dude, it's been so long. But it's still there. The magic is still there, man.
Wow, good stuff.
Absolutely. And you're singing in top form, my brother.
Ooh, and sitting down. It's kind of hard. That one I forgot how high it is.
Yeah.
That one should be me standing, but
Well, no.
so be it.
Normally we do stand when we play.
Normally I'm also doing two other things at the same time.
Yes, this is true. Esteban is the second hardest working musician in the band.
Second.
I only say that because Chantal's the first, but Esteban is singing lead vocals. He's playing the bass drum with his right foot, and he's playing the bass
Yes,
guitar.
Yes, and yeah, I mean, it took a little bit of practice. Oh man, how did I keep hitting play on these songs? And I'm not trying to give away the next song or anything. I'm just trying. So for those of you who must know what I'm doing over here, see, it really wants to play. So I'm looking at lyrics, guys. I'm cheating, and the reason is because kind of a wordy writer sometimes. So this song in particular, a lot of lyrics.
Well,
And
yeah. Tell us about, oh my gosh.
You want to know about this song?
Yeah, tell us about how Wonder came to be.
So, this was a song inspired by the Bay Area. If you look at it verse by verse, we wanted to write a song that kind of tied us to home. And we're I would say we're all outdoorsy to different extents, especially the bandmates that wrote this song, specifically me and Jonathan, really enjoy the outdoors. And Bay Area has so much to offer from, the obvious, beautiful Pacific Ocean, these bridges these iconic bridges that you're used to seeing in movies, the bay itself. There's just so much. There's so much around us, and a lot of it is in nature. And we wanted to tie ourselves to that. So, these purple mountains at the dawn. That's up early in the morning, and the way kind of the hills and mountains look around us. Mm-hmm. The fog here. A lot of mornings you can wake up in total fog, and then it's gone. Those of you who've ever been to the Bay Area, you need like 2 sets of clothes for every day.
Oh, yeah.
You get up in the morning, it's cold, and then all of a sudden it's 80 degrees. And we're in November, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So that's just kind of like we wanted to kind of capture some of that, but also the wonder of it being creation, that God made it this way, and being just, wow. I'm so I don't know what the word is, but just put back by looking around at the beauty I think of the time of year, like here in the Bay Area, I love February, March, April. The hills are all green here. It doesn't last for long, but man, the Bay Area just looks amazing when it's all green like that before it turns brown. Brown is okay. It's a time of year too.
Yeah.
But, don't come here in that time of year thinking it's green all year round. That's false advertising. So I do really love being out in nature. I'm a dirt bike rider, so I like to get out in the hills and just kind of take it in, listen to the wind, if you will, and God speak through it. So, yeah.
Man of many talents. All right.
Maybe just too many hobbies.
Can we really say that there's such thing as having too many hobbies?
When you're sure, if they're expensive.
Yeah, good point.
There's such a thing as too many.
I mean, who are we kidding? We're musicians.
Yes.
Our hobbies cost a lot.
They're a little pricey.
And speaking of pricey, I just put some new strings on this thing, so.
Sounded good.
Thank you.
Sounded fresh.
All right, you ready to do this?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right. This is Wonder.
All the owls in the night, how they soar, how they glide, and I wonder, redwoods reaching to the sky, dark moon reflecting the sunlight, and I wonder, Purple mountains at the dawn, I see the fog, then it's gone, and I wonder, the sun is sinking to the sea, another day you let me be, and I wonder, at the thought of you, and I wonder, made completely new in you, and I wonder, your love made me a fool for you, and I wonder, how this rest could prove that the love is true. Knit together in the moon, there's no doubt it was you, and I wonder, how this heart pumps the blood, transfused by your love, and I wonder, love before the hands of time, I was yours and you were mine, and I wonder, you turn the water into wine, I drink my fill of the vine, and I wonder, at the thought of you, and I wonder, made completely new in you, and I wonder, your love made me a fool for sunstruck. This love is true. Oh, oh, this love is true. Oh, oh, this love is true. Oh, oh, and this love is you. Nice.
Yeah, man.
It's good stuff. I forgot that there was a line in the song that references the name of the band. I think it's this technically like the second verse. Towards the beginning of the song, it says, "The sun is sinking to the sea. Another day, let me be." And for those of you who don't know, Into the Pacific is a reference also to where we live, because here in the West Coast, at sunset, it goes into the Pacific. The sun, for us, appears to be going into the water, but it never goes out. It's amazing. It rises the next day.
Absolutely.
From the east.
Getting philosophical up in here.
Something like that, or scientific.
Yes.
I don't know. One of the two.
Absolutely, man. Man, it was such a joy having you on the show, Esteban. Thank you so much for being on the show. And
I'm very appreciative that you thought of me.
Oh,
to
man.
have me do it. So.
Absolutely. So maybe you could provide some information of where we can hear more Into the Pacific songs, maybe on social media, whatnot.
Right. So if you want to see some videos, that stuff's all on YouTube. I mean, you might be able to find a few on Facebook if you look for Into the Pacific on Facebook. Some videos that are not on YouTube. Those are some cool ones.
Yeah.
But if you want music videos, which there's a few, that's on YouTube. If you search Into the Pacific, you'll find our band page there. We are on Facebook, as I said. We've got a Facebook page. We're on Instagram. Bunch of fun pictures there and different videos and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so that's all the social media stuff covered. Music-wise, you just want to listen to music. We're on all the major platforms, from Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer. I want to meet a person that uses Deezer. Amazon Music.
Yes.
All those major ones, and I'm sure I'm forgetting, but it's all out there, and you can listen to your heart's content if you have some of those streaming services. So, yeah,
Awesome.
Enjoy.
Yes, listen to Into the Pacific. Listen, Christmas season's coming up. We have a Christmas EP that's out.
There is a Christmas album there. I forgot about that. It is that time of year to start referencing that album.
Oh, yeah, it's all there. But, bro, thanks again for being on the show, and nothing but love, and we'll be rocking, very soon.
Very soon. Absolutely. Thanks again.
You're welcome. All right.